Na buddhi bedam janayed
ना बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत्
ajnanam karma sanginam
अज्ञानं कर्म संगिनां
josayet sarva karmani
योजयेत् सर्वकर्माणि
vidvan yuktah samacharan.
विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन्.
So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to fruitive results of the prescribed duties, the learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So, ignorant men definition is that they will be attached to fruitive results. Something, if it doesn't bear fruit, they won't work. So, if you study, you want to pass exam. If you work, you want to get paid, like that. So, every activity we do, we want some kind of fruit. That is called fruitive. So, what should the learned person do? Working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities. For example, in the temple, you will see this pizza Sunday, right? So all the newcomers are engaged in making pizzas so that they are engaged in service of Krishna. So they may think, oh, I'm just putting some dough here, I'm putting some cheese, I'm putting some vegetables. That doesn't look exactly like devotion. But for a newcomer, that is a good way to engage the person in doing something for Krishna, whether it is making garlands, making pizza, so many different things that can be and need to be done. Okay, so Shiva, please read the purport.
Action. Vedascha sarvair aham eva vidya. This is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performances of sacrifices and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. Okay. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification, regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Okay. Therefore, a realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. Okay. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed by his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for the Vedic formulas. Okay. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals because by direct Krishna consciousness, one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from following one's prescribed duties.
Yeah, so this is the key point.
Right.
So if somebody is slightly developed and then they can be engaged in service of the Lord, seva, whether it is cooking or making garlands or this or that. And for such a person, there is no need to follow Vedic rituals like pujas, yajnas, and so on.
Okay.
So this may not appear very logical, but in a way it is logical, because if you're directly serving the Lord, then all these things are again service to the Lord. So if you're directly serving the Lord, then you don't need to deal with all the complexities of these rituals and things like that. But if you're not serving the Lord, for them doing some rituals makes sense. So that is exactly what's happening here. If you are able to engage somebody in direct service to the Lord, then these rituals just become just supporting activities, not really the primary activities.
direct service to the Lord in the sense like doing pujas.
Whatever you are doing, like in the temple, if you're directly serving the Lord, like making garlands for him, that garland will
Oh.
directly go around the neck. You are cutting vegetables for some bhoga or naivedyam for the Lord. That is direct service of the Lord. So
Okay.
by reading all the Vedas, you are saying, okay, Yajur Veda said like this, Atharva Veda said like this. All that also leads ultimately to service only.
But these are indirect.
But that is indirect. I mean, not indirect, that is step by step. First, you are learning to serve. Here, you are directly serving the Lord, even if you don't know why you are serving. The fact that you are serving, you'll get the benefit.
Okay.
And for new people, to engage them, if you ask them to read a lot of Vedas, they're not going to do it. So this way of service is better. It is simpler and it is direct above all. You're directly serving the Lord, even without knowing that you're serving the Lord. Okay, let's go to the next one. Prakriteha kriyamanaani
प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि
gunay karmani sarvasah
गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः
ahankara vimudatma
अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा
kartaham iti manyate.
कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते.
The spirit soul, bewildered by influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Right.
So soul thinks, I am doing this, I am doing this, I did this, I did this. But these modes of material nature, the three energies, are making the person do those activities. So who is doing the activities? The modes are actually doing the activities. And it is better to be in the mode of goodness than being in passion or ignorance. Because with goodness, there is a higher hope that you can come to a higher platform. With ignorance, very difficult. With passion, somewhat difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think we are doing an activity, the modes are acting us. For example, if somebody is pretty normal,
Okay.
right? One day, due to mode of influence, ignorance, he'll think, okay, yeah, drinking alcohol is good. So he'll drink, start drinking 1 or 2 cups. Later on, it will become a habit. So what has happened? The modes have acted on him and made him do that. So it's better not to be in those modes of ignorance and passion where we'll make mistakes and we'll get dragged into it. Better to be in the mode of goodness where a little bit of understanding is there of spirituality, and then move to pure goodness where you actually practice pure spirituality. So then somebody may say, oh, then I'm not really I know the culprit, the modes are culprit, so you should not punish me. In a way, that is true, but at the same time, who asked you to be in those modes? Right? We have to get out of the lower modes, and the process is given in various scriptures. So if we get out of the lower modes, then we'll come to the higher platform. Okay, Mataji, please read the purport.
Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and the other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. The person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently, and that is the symptom of his nescience. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna, in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesha or the master of the senses of the material body. For due to his long misuse of the senses in sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna.
So again, the last sentence for Prabhupada is usually very powerful, is saying, we misused our senses for a very long time. So instead of serving the Lord, we served so many other things. And then factually bewildered by false ego, ahankar, we forget our relationship with Krishna. And once we forget our relationship with Krishna, then we act on the material platform. So if you do two things, one will give you $50, other will give you $100, you will always go towards the one that will give you $100 because that is the material conception. Oh, I have more benefit here, so let me do this. It's because of long misuse of the senses in this lifetime as well as in previous lifetimes. Therefore, we forget Krishna. So another point Prabhupada makes is material person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. So we are under the control of Krishna, but we think we are doing everything. Ultimately, we are under the control of these three gunas. So better to get out of ignorance and passion and stay in goodness so that the decisions we make are the good decisions. Like, for example, a mode of ignorance person, he knows that there is a Bhagavad Gita class, but they won't come because they have higher priority. So who is deciding that higher priority?
Senses.
The senses are deciding what the higher priority is, right? But with intelligence, he says, okay, shut up, senses. This is more important for me. Let me go for this class, right? As you know, even in this class, initially we had like 30 something people, came down to 10, came down to 5. Now, very few people come, right?
Right.
So they have decided based on their senses, dictation of the senses, that they want to do something different in this time. It's not really that much time, 1 hour, but still they feel that, oh, maybe I can use this for some betterment of my life. So you have to get out of dictation of the senses and come to this platform.
Prabhuji, how sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can we have anyone find the taste of this? Like, I mean, I know we can't force. I know we cannot.
Yeah. So basically, when you have jaundice, you cannot taste many things.
Right. I got it. Yes.
Right.
You
No,
know,
like
there's
even in coronavirus, people used to say they lost sense of smell and taste and things like that, because that's a diseased condition. So when there is a disease, you will lose taste. But then gradually the taste will return if you put extra effort into that process. The taste will return. So we have to again get that return of taste. That's why they say eat only prasadam, don't eat other kind of things because it can cause problem to the health. So many things are discussed along those lines. So how do you get the taste back? You have to keep trying. Association of devotees. When we talk about Krishna all the time, the taste gradually returns. And then we can use it for Krishna's service, that taste. Just like we gradually lost the taste also, right? We didn't lose it overnight. We gradually lost it. Like almost everybody is good when they are born. But then they say, okay, my school is taking my time away, college is taking my time away. Therefore, I'm taking these shortcuts. So gradually but surely, they're losing the taste. So we have to reverse those steps and gradually attain taste.
Mm.
It all starts with association, right? If you're always coming to the temple, hearing to the lectures, then as the speakers are speaking about these topics, our taste gradually returns. Usually, transformation is mostly through hearing, not through any other medium. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. Shrunvatam means hearing. Swakata Krishna, the story, the leelas of Krishna. Punya Shravana Kirtanam. So this becomes all pious, punya. Hridayantosti avadhrani. So our hridaya or heart has a lot of abhadras, bad qualities. You can get rid of all those bad qualities. And each one of us has to do it for themselves. Not like, okay, if mother chants, son will benefit. Not like that. Everybody has to reach to Krishna according to their capacity, but independently. You can take help from others from a knowledge perspective, but this has to be independent. Okay, so we'll stop the class today. I know there are not that many people in the class, and I'm also feeling tired. We will resume next week.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.